And good morning. I am Devin Albertson. I am joined by Luke Sanders as we are ready to talk some Bearcat basketball as the MIAA tournament tipped off on Tuesday as Northwest had a bye. They play their first game tonight against Pitt State down in Kansas City. And Luke, Northwest done well against Pitt State earlier this season. What do you expect out of this game tonight versus the Gorillas?
I expect Northwest to go out there and take care of business. Northwest beat them without Pitts. That was the Pitt State game, right?
I think Pitt's played, but he was kind of limited. I'd have to double check on that, though.
Wait. I get him confused because
no, he did miss that game. That's right. He did miss that game.
Kim Anderson throws everything off because now I always confuse Pitt State and UCM.
No, you do. Yeah, it makes sense.
But anyways, yeah, he didn't play against Pitt State, and Northwest played really good defense and ended up getting the W. And I think that with Pitt's in action, they won't have any problems with Pitt State.
Yeah, because that was after the Washburn game where he scored 0 points. They didn't play the Pitt State game that he played versus Missouri Southern.
Yeah,
that was that timeline. For that, yeah, I don't think Northwest should have any troubles with Pitt State. They are one of the more talented teams in the league because they have so many Division I transfers. But the thing is, when you have so many transfers, your chemistry isn't as high, and then they have spurts where they look like a really good team, and then they'll just drop off for 4 or 5 minutes. You just can't do that against Northwest and expect to.
They're a couple of years away.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're in the right direction with Kim Anderson. He's a really good coach down there in Pitt State. So, of course, everybody knows what he did for UCM and all those years. So, definitely not looking forward to him being at Pitt State for a prolonged period of time because he knows how to build a program.
Yeah.
So
he'll move on. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully somewhere else. Yeah, but that's what's going on right now. Also, other games going to happen today. Washburn versus Nebraska Kearney at noon. Missouri Southern versus Fort Hays at 2:15.
Go Hays.
Go Hays. Northwest versus Penn State at 6. And then Central Oklahoma versus Central Missouri at 8:15. If Northwest wins, they'll play one of the Centrals there on Saturday at 8:15. So and the other semifinal will be at 6 o'clock on Saturday down in Municipal Auditorium down in Kansas City, and the championship game would be 3:30 on Sunday. And for Northwest, you look at this MIAA tournament, they got a pretty good draw. I know the 1 seed usually gets a good draw, but even matchup-wise, because Kearney, they lost to earlier this year, on the other side. Washburn's on the other side, and so is Missouri Southern. That's a pretty good draw there. They're going to beat up on each other. You only got to play one of those teams.
Yeah.
So, and they matched up well with UCM beating them twice already this year. Both times pretty easily. Each wasn't really in doubt either time. Even the home game, that was like a 7-point game at the end. Northwest was in control that entire game. They controlled Central Oklahoma as well. So Northwest got a really good draw this year in the tournament. So, and of course, they've won the last 2 tournaments down in Kansas City last year. The semifinal versus Missouri Southern came down to the final shot with Snyder hitting the 3. But this year they get to avoid Southern until the championship game if both teams make it that far. One thing I do want to mention this week is they did release the all MIAA teams. Justin Pitts, Player of the Year for the 3rd straight year, and the only year he didn't get it was his freshman year, and he was the Freshman of the Year and first team all MIAA. So
not bad.
Not bad. So Justin Pitts,
he's pretty good at that basketball thing.
He's pretty good there. He's one of the most accomplished players ever to come through the MIAA. Defensive Player of the Year was Brady Skeens out of Washburn, back-to-back winner in there. Freshman of the Year was out of Southwest Baptist, Chris Rosso. Coach of the Year was Missouri Southern's head coach. First team all MIAA. Carr from Southern, Lanson from Kearney, Pitts, Reeves from Central Missouri, and Skeens from Washburn. I didn't really have any quorums with any of those guys. They were all pretty deserving. I mean, Lanceman, he led the MIAA in scoring. C.J. Carr beat Northwest twice. So
C.J. Carr is really good.
Yeah, he was on fire when he plays Northwest. He likes that little extra energy. Reeves is the only offense Central Missouri really has at times, and then Skeens is probably the best big man in the MIAA. Chrissy Buendow was part of the second team, and third team had both Doherty and Wittes on it, with the all-defensive team also including Brett Doherty. So I'm glad that Doherty got in the all-defensive team so people kind of recognize what he does anchoring the post in this Northwest defense, even being a little bit undersized, being able to compete with the big man.
How is Northwest just not the all-defensive team? How do we only have one?
How is Kurth not there is my only question. I thought Kurth would be all-defense. Like, he didn't do anything else. Endow was there last year, so maybe he got it last year, so we'll give someone else. Number 1 defense in the conference by a pretty wide margin. So other guys in the all-defensive team.
We don't. I guess though our defensive guys don't really put up defensive stats.
Yeah.
So it's harder.
Carr for Missouri Southern was on there. Hammond from Central Oklahoma, DJ Richardson from Central Missouri, and then Brady Skeens from Washburn. That's the all-MIAA team. So 4 of the 5 starters from Northwest were on the team. Had no honorable mentions this year. So Pitts, player of the year again, because he's Justin Pitts. And this is a down year, by the way. He's only averaging 19.7 points a game. Only. Down year. 5 assists. I don't know. He's just really good. So that's what's going on there. Justin Pitts. I actually thought that Landsman for Kearney might have given a run for the money for the player of the year, but I think with Kearney being the 6th best team in the MIAA really hurt his chances for that, and they just gave it it's one of those things, do you give the guy who had the best year or do you give it to the best player? 'Cause I think everybody realized that Justin Pitts is the best player in the league. He might have had the best year, but he's the best player, so I'm glad that kind of won out there with Justin Pitts. So, that's the all-MIAA team. I thought Chris had a chance for first team, but after seeing who got the first team, I was like, that's fair. I thought Doherty had a chance for second team. He's probably on the border there. And I think if Wittes would have played the way he's played the last 3 weeks, like he did.
He would have been first
team. He's been playing ridiculous right now for Northwest. Is Joey Wittes has really stepped up ever since the Kearney game where Pitts got the concussion. He's been playing really just out of his mind over the past couple weeks, kind of showing why he was a second-team all-conference player up in the Northern Sun. Since the Kearney game, he scored 15 versus Hayes, 10 versus Western, 8 versus Lincoln. Then after that, 16, 15, 22, 11, 17, 19, 22. He's just been that consistent guy down there, and he's been able to get three-point shot going, get out in the post. So he's a tough matchup as a little 3-4 guy. You put someone small on him, he just takes him to the post. You put someone big on him, he just steps back and hits a jumper. So
he's good.
So that's what's going on there. So are you going down to Kansas City at all this weekend to watch any of the games? Or
I think I'm going to try to make it Sunday, but that's probably the only day I'll be able to make it.
I'm going to try to save my money and see if Northwest gets the Elite 8 and the Final 4. I might go to Sioux Falls this year because I have nothing going on this year in the time. So that's what I'm going to try to do, try to save my money for Sioux Falls. So that's the Northwest basketball team. Also want to mention that Mel Churchma announced his retirement from athletic director effective April 30th. So he's been athletic director for the past 5 years for Northwest, and he's calling it quits. He's getting up there in age. He coached Northwest for football from between 1994 and 2010. He only won 183 games and 3 national championships and 12 MIAA titles.
Weak.
Only. Yeah, so he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame this past year. So, so Mel Churchma, he pretty much made Northwest Athletics to what it is today. He invented football in 1994. So
he's kind of the GOAT.
A little bit. So, so kind of sad to see him go, but I think everybody kind of saw the writing on the wall with him getting up there in age, and he's done quite a bit for Northwest. He's spent 22 years of his.
He's done his time.
He's ready to move on. It'll be interesting to see who they hire as his replacement. They'll come out, of course, later after do some interviews and stuff like that. So
AP.
Definitely a good candidate there going forward. So
hey, if you get hired, referral bonus. Just think about it.
Other things going on this weekend in Bearcat Athletics. Baseball team is at Fort Hays. Their first game is today at 3 o'clock. They'll play again Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 1. So they're out in the middle of nowhere in Kansas. Tennis team, they're playing Drury University today at 8 o'clock, both men and women. And then they'll be going to Springfield to take on Indianapolis University on Saturday as well. So a little bit of a tournament down there for tennis, as well as, softball. They got games on Saturday and Sunday. Softball in Joplin versus Sioux Falls at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and then 4 o'clock versus Drury University, and then Sunday 10 a.m. versus McKendree, and noon versus Rockhurst. So that's what's going on this weekend. The selection show for the men's basketball to see who, what seed Northwest will get, that'll be at 9:30 on Sunday night. So make sure you guys, if you want to and you're interested about what Northwest is going to get with that, you can either check out the selection show or follow us on Twitter at X106 Friday Take, at X106_sports. We'll have the bracket as soon as it comes out. We'll get it to you on Twitter to see where Northwest is. And from the rumblings that I've heard, Northwest is pretty much a shoe-in to host, bearing something. I think a win versus Pitt State pretty much guarantees it at this point. I look at all the numbers for performance indicators, strength of schedule, RPI, there's all that stuff, and they're way ahead in all three categories, which are really important. Plus, they have the head-to-head versus Northern States, so that's what they have going for them right there. Also, I kind of looked at the best teams in the nation, kind of to see where Northwest ranked according to performance indicators. They're the sixth best team in the nation according to that, behind Western Oregon, Ferris State, Morehouse, Findlay, and Bellarmine, and in front of Lincoln Memorial in Queens. So they're right there in the contenders for a national championship again this season because they're Northwest and they have Justin Pitts, and that really helps going into the playoffs for that. So hopefully Northwest can get 6 games into the playoffs and get down to the championship game up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But, of course, 3 games this weekend hopefully as well in the MIAA tournament. So anything else on Bearcat Athletics?
Cats by 90.
Cats by 90. So interesting. I probably won't watch the games online because I'm poor and we can't say dollar amounts on the radio station. But
somewhere between 1 and 1,000. That's all I'm getting. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, so I probably won't spend my money on that, but I'll be definitely checking out the live stats and seeing how the Bearcats do tonight versus Pitt State. So that's what we have for you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, last week we talked about Marcus Peters and the potential of trading him, and then probably about 2 hours after we got off our show, they traded Marcus Peters. So we'll get our thoughts on that.
Marcus.
As Marcus is gone, but we'll get our thoughts on that next here on Friday Take. And welcome back into Friday Take. I'm Devin Albertson, joined by Luke Sanders, as it's time to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And as I said before the break, last week we talked about just some salary cap stuff with the Chiefs and possibly releasing Justin Houston and trading Marcus Peters and cutting Ron Parker. Well, 2 of those 3 things happened. They still have Houston for now. They traded Marcus Peters to the Los Angeles Rams. They cut Ron Parker. They traded Marcus Peters and a 6th-round pick this year's draft for a 4th-rounder this year and a 2nd-round pick in 2019. And the only thing that I can conclude is that's not what Marcus Peters is worth, but there has been something off the field and out of the media that no one knows about yet that hasn't come out, where Marcus Peters was just an absolute headache that was uncontrollable and sustainable to have in the locker room. Because the only thing I can think of, even then, some of the players still, like Justin Houston and Eric Berry, still spoke highly of Marcus Peters. So I'm just kind of confused on what exactly went down behind the scenes to force for you to go like, you know what, we're going to trade Marcus Peters for a 4th round this year and a 2nd round next year.
Yeah, it had to be something pretty serious off the field. That's the only thing that makes any sense. I also heard reports that he wouldn't play for Bob Sutton anymore.
That's fair.
I can't blame him for that.
I can sympathize with that because he's kind of bad at his job.
So if he told the Chiefs he wasn't going to play for him and everyone already kind of knew that, then his value is really low.
Fire Bob Sutton.
That makes way too much sense.
Because I
mean,
know
if I'm picking Phillip Gaines or Bob Sutton, I'm probably picking Phillip Gaines. Like, that's how bad Bob Sutton is.
That's brutal. Because at least you keep Phillip Gaines like a special teams guy. You don't have to play him on defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not good. Marcus Peters was on the NFL Network, and he just talked about being traded right here.
So this news.
It's business.
That's it?
It's business. And all I can do is just go handle mine. You know, I thank the Kansas City Chiefs for everything they did for me to start it off. Now it's on L.A., you know. I'm going to miss playing with my teammates for sure.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing about this game, that you can't change nothing about the business. Because once you get in that locker room, that's family. You know, and I miss the guys, man. I miss Eric, I miss Justin.
Yeah.
I miss Coach Reed. I miss man, Big Red. and it's funny, man, because I'm sitting there and it's been a crazy little week, you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at everything. It's like, man, y'all talking about me and Big Red had issues?
So it was no issues with you and Andy Reid?
Nope. Big Red can come check me like my pops can come check me, and I'll take it as thank you, Big Red, because you know what? He was looking in the best interest for me to become a better player. You know, they already knew that I had some so-called character issues off the field.
Yeah, it says Marcus Peters. Keep going there for another 20 seconds or so, but he just kind of talked about how they took a chance with him for 3 years. And it was great 3 years. Now he's on the next chapter of his life. But, yeah, he loves Big Red. Didn't say him so much about Bob Sutton, but he loves Big Red.
Makes me tear up a little.
Yeah, I mean, he loves Big Red.
If there's no issues between him and Andy Reid, how do you fire or give her to him before Bob Sutton? That's some of the worst GMing of all time.
Well, I don't even know if it was because some people are theorizing that it was Clark Hunt gave the word to trade him, and I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
I could totally see that.
I could kind of see that because I know he didn't like the anthem protests and some of the stuff that Marcus Peters does that's not good for the franchise from a business point. But the same part of it's like, you know what,
Winning
games is good business. So yeah, and I think he wasn't too happy on trading Alex Smith. I'm gonna play the Mahomes thing first because that's what he talked about first, and of course. Going into this, they're playing down in Mexico City this year versus the Rams. The Chiefs are, and this is Marcus Peters on the prospect of playing Patrick Mahomes.
Mexico. Talk about Patrick Mahomes, man. You got a chance to go up against him a lot at practice. What are you expecting in this game, and what can fans expect from Patrick Mahomes?
I'm expecting turnovers, and I'm expecting a win.
Oh, you in competitive mode right now. Yeah, so you're expecting to get some turnovers off of it. Already.
He know how to give me the ball.
Typical Marcus Peters there. He's definitely going to try to turn over Mahomes, and Mahomes will probably give him an opportunity or two to do so.
Hey, Mahomes, you're going to want to pump fake and then score tutties.
Pump fake the out route and throw it to Hill over the top.
Yes.
So,
I would love. Marcus Peters is not fast enough to go Tyreek Hill. That's not a great matchup.
Who's other corners in LA? I don't even know who else they have.
They lost Johnson.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who else.
It'll be a new person.
Yeah, but that'll be interesting down in Mexico City. You know, the week before that, it'll be interesting to see how much trash talk is talked between Marcus and the Chiefs, because I feel like Marcus, well, he's a corner, so they love to talk trash anyways, but that should be interesting to see that. I just thought it was interesting what he said about Mahomes. It was kind of lighthearted, too, so that was good. And he was just like, I played him in practice. I know how to pick him off, so we're good. So, of course, he's going to have a lot of confidence going into that. Then after the Mahomes thing, they transitioned to what he thought about trading Alex Smith, and this is what Marcus Peters said about the Alex Smith trade.
So did you agree with them moving Alex?
No, man. Alex don't get enough respect. And they need to start putting some respect on that man's name. Because I done seen that man get thrown underneath the bus too many times, and he took it as a man. And he never complained about it. He don't turn over the ball, and he know how to win. That was our fault for messing up the playoffs on him.
I know that's right, bro.
That was our fault.
So that's what Marcus Peters said about Alex Smith. And when he says our fault, who's going to put more of the our fault on, himself and the defensive players, or more of the defensive coordinator there?
Oh, I don't know.
So I thought that was interesting to see what he said about Alex, and I think him and I think Houston were two guys who wanted to keep Alex because they're veteran players at this point. They want to have that stability at quarterback, and Mahomes, I think he's gonna be really good, but he's also still a question mark in some of their eyes because they haven't seen him in a whole lot of real game action. So you don't want to go into a season with a guy with one start. That's kind of what I can see their point of view with it.
I cannot. I don't get it. They know football. You should be able to see that this guy's not going to win you games. Like if you this is what it is. Not big games, not games that matter.
He just said the reason they lost the game that mattered was because of the defense, not because of Alex. Though
they gave up 18 points.
They played really bad in the second half. The offense didn't have the ball.
They gave up 18. The offense didn't keep the ball because they went 3 and out every possession.
It was a 9-minute drive to start the second half by the Tennessee offense.
Okay.
The Tennessee offense, which is awful.
All they can do is run the football. They're good at that. They gave up 18 points, Devin. If you can't score 18 points as an offense, I don't care if you get the ball 5 times.
They gave 22, but whatever.
20.
It was 22-21.
Okay, 22 points. As if you're this quarterback that they say, you know what that really boils down to is that Marcus Peters is a very confident guy, and he thinks that the defense should give up no points, and he wants the defense to be able to win the game, and that's what Justin Houston wants too. They want the credit for winning the game because they know if Alex Smith's the quarterback, that the only way they can win the game is if the defense wins the game.
That's not true at all.
We cannot win a big game if the defense doesn't win it with Alex Smith, the quarterback.
No quarterback is going to win shootouts consistently, though, is my point.
They're not. All the best quarterbacks do, and that's what you need to win Super Bowls and win a large amount of playoff games.
No.
Consistently.
I'm just saying, though, you don't win shootouts in the playoffs. You just don't consistently. I mean, if the Packers allow over 30 points, Aaron Rodgers is like 500 quarterback.
How many wins do they have if they allow 18 or 22 points? I bet he's.
Well, I'm also not saying Alex Smith is Aaron Rodgers.
I understand that, but I'm saying that he's not even remotely close.
You're just way too far down on Alex Smith, and I appreciate Marcus Peters for putting some respect on his name because you won't do it.
I will not. I will. Okay, timeout. I'll put some respect on his name.
No, you won't.
He's a really good guy. I will not put respect on his quarterbackness, whatever you want to call that. He's bad at playing quarterback
He is
in
not
big
bad at playing quarterback.
situations.
No, he's not.
He's the most unclutch player of all time.
Well, this will make you happy. Brett Veach on Patrick Mahomes. From the day that he first stepped on the field at rookie minicamp, he's wowed us. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. So, for me wanting to keep my Mahomes expectations in check a little bit and be realistic about it, Veach is not doing a good job of helping me with that because I just got way too excited in March about Patrick Mahomes, which is part of the reason why you can trade a guy like Marcus Peters because you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes sitting there who's going to sell tickets because he's Patrick Mahomes and he's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Don't expect anything more than like 25-15 or 30-20. That's how it's going to go this year.
It just, I like all these people who are like, well, they traded Marcus Peters, or even the people who like before is like, if you don't trade Marcus Peters, I'm not going to renew my season ticket. And I'm like, you're bluffing. And if you sell yours or someone who's going to buy it behind, I don't understand. Like, I get that you're trying to threat with your money, but it's like at the same point.
There's plenty of people who buy tickets.
Exactly. And then it's like, well, they traded Marcus Peters. I'm canceling my season tickets. Like, okay, someone else who's a Patrick Mahomes fan is going to come in and buy him anyways. I don't know what you're. Luke's can come in and swipe your season tickets. Whatever. It's on you.
Give me a discount. Stick it to him.
Exactly. I mean, I don't understand, like, these people threatening with this. Even, like, when the national anthem was going on. If they don't stand, I'm going to cancel my season tickets. Like, okay, bye. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you're going to make that decision and cut out the NFL, that's on you. It's like, I'm not doing that. Even if I disagree with the protest, or even if I do agree with it, you know what? I like football too much to be that petty about it.
I don't know if, like, they were out there stabbing people on the field before the game. If I could...
I
don't know. I don't know if I could
still
stop
might watch.
watching. I might still be there.
I mean, people watched the Raiders in the 80s, so I don't know what...
It's like, yeah, they stab people before the game, but it's okay.
I'm still people during the game. I don't know, but at the same point, it's like I'm not that petty about this stuff. I'm gonna stop watching the NFL because
a thigh stab to Bob Sutton, put him on the sideline for a few weeks. I probably wouldn't be mad about that.
You'd probably put it on replay.
That might be the end all that sends him to the nursing home, and I'd be totally okay with that.
That's just mean. Also, Brett Veach, a couple other quotes he had this week. On new cornerback David Amerson, he said he can play, and he thinks that pretty much the Raider system was just garbage in the secondary, and that if he actually plays around some competent players in the secondary, he might be able to compete for a starting job for the Chiefs. Because I've seen some film review on Amerson, and a lot of it is he technically gives up the touchdown, but he's playing cover 2, and the safety is trash, and he gives up inside position. The safety should be there, and the safety's not there. So when Tyreek Hill scored, it's like not really on him. Tyreek Hill's really fast, and he had no safety help.
You need help. Send help.
Like literally, the safety just stood there while Hill just goes right by him for a post for a touchdown. It's like that's really bad defense by the safety. That's not on the corner whatsoever. Who thought he had inside help and deep help, and he didn't. So I think he'll be able to compete for a starting job now with the Chiefs. Him and Fuller will probably be the starting corners this year for Kansas City, kind of depending on what they do in the draft. Brett Veach also said the Chiefs will be in the market for a speedy receiver in the draft to highlight Mahomes' arm talent even more, because why not just have Tyreek Hill when you have another guy on the other side who's really fast as well?
Here's what they're going to want to do. Josh Jackson's going to want to run like a 4.54, slide down. We're going to take him, and then I don't know any speedy receivers, but I'm not.
Jawan Moore, Mizzou.
Not bad. Not bad.
That wouldn't be a bad pick.
He's got some hand issues, but we can work on that.
A lot of speed guys have hand issues, though.
Yeah, unless you find Tyreek Hill.
He's had some drop issues, too, though. I like Tyreek Hill, but
he's dropped not very many compared to the amount we target him.
That's fair. And then he also said on D Ford, we believe in him and his ability to really make a difference when healthy, so I believe they're going to keep D Ford and his $8.1 million deal.
Wrong.
And I think Veach has made a lot of good decisions this year. So I think the Emerson pickup was nice because he was really cheap. Trading Smith for a third and a starting corner was really good. And cutting Ron Parker because he's too expensive was smart. They're going to cut Tomball Hawley here soon. Cutting cutting Derek Johnson was smart. I mean, they've made a lot of smart moves this offseason. The Marcus Peters trade is going to definitely flash there because it's the big name of everything. So
Yeah, because it was one of the stupidest deals I've ever seen if nothing comes out that he did something bad.
Yeah, if nothing comes out, I'm like, I don't. And the Chiefs better nail the 2 draft picks because you just gave away a top 5 corner, in my opinion. So,
In like most people's
yeah,
opinions.
a top 5 corner who just creates turnovers in the NFL, which is vitally important to winning games. Not turning the ball over and then getting turnovers. So
Bob doesn't like turnovers, so that's why he doesn't
Bob
like
likes straight man-to-man cover one robber. Okay, just back off, and dropping his best pass rusher in coverage
Will.
on Antonio Brown.
Really smart football right there.
Have him cover one of the best receivers in the league in one-on-one cover. God, Bob Sutton. He's just so frustrating sometimes. Like, I don't know what he thinks.
I don't think he does think. I think he's too old to think, honestly.
So I hope that I'm going to trust Veach. I don't think he's been very aggressive this offseason. And I think it's I think people are saying this Chiefs are going to kind of a soft rebuild. I hope that's the case. I hope the Chiefs do have a really tough schedule this year, so we'll see what happens with that. So, of course, the Combine's going on right now, and it's kind of still going on in process. I like the Combine, but it makes for really boring radio because, like, well, this guy, he ran a 5.25 and O lineman. He's 350 pounds. He's an athlete. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to go through the Combine with a straight face. But they did get some measurements for quarterbacks and stuff like that. Like, Mayfield was 6'1". Lamar Jackson was a smidge under 6'3".
If Mayfield measured at 6'1", he's going to move up quick.
He's already in the top 5 on most people's boards, at least to Denver at 6.
I know, but
Or is it Denver at 5 and Jets at 6? Either way, but he's up there.
wow, he could end up passing a couple of those other guys if I expected him to come in below 6 foot. I think a lot of people did too.
Yeah, 'cause he measured taller at the Combine than he did at the Senior Bowl, so he grew 6 foot and 5/8, so pretty much 6'1". So just a smidge under 6'1", 215 pounds, hand size 9 1/4. So that's what he measured at. I think Darnold was 6'3", Allen was 6'5", I believe. I think Rosen was 6'3", 6'4", and then Lamar Jackson just a smidge under 6'3". So that's what the top quarterbacks measured at.
Don't put Lamar Jackson with those other people.
Well, people think he is.
Well,
People think he's the 4th best quarterback in this draft, or 5th best. After Allen, Darnold, Rosen, Mayfield, then I think Lamar Jackson and Rudolph are in the next little grouping.
Lamar Jackson will never play down in a regular season as a quarterback. Never.
I'm not going to say that because he might go to some bad team and they're
Nope.
like, this guy's hurt, throw Lamar out there.
Nope. He literally cannot run an offense. If you think that he's going to play a professional quarterback, you have not watched football in your life.
He really struggled after the first part of his junior year. Like the last 3 games of his junior year when he won the Heisman even, and then his senior year was a real struggle at times.
He's just a pure like he was that kid in like the ACC, the games that he played outside of like Clemson and Florida State. He was just that kid that was more athletic than everybody else on the field.
I mean, he definitely was. And that's why
It's like in high school. It's not like a polished athlete quarterback like Michael Vick. Michael Vick showed talent that you cannot believe in college and arm strength.
I mean, Lamar Jackson completed 56% of his passes in a Bobby Petrino offense.
It is. That's not good.
And Bobby Petrino is a really good quarterback. I would assume that you throw over 60% at least with Bobby Petrino, and that wasn't the case at Louisville. Now I expect him to be more accurate in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know some teams already asked Lamar Jackson if he'll run as a receiver and see if he'll transition. He don't want to, but at the same point, if you want to have a longer career in the NFL, you might think about it.
I think he would be a really good receiver if he can put some weight on, but I just don't see him playing quarterback. He doesn't have extreme arm talent. Like he's really athletic, but they're gonna want him to sit in the pocket. He has no pocket skills, none.
Yeah, so that's what we have to worry about with with Lamar Jackson, and of course some people were mad at Bill Polian for coming out and saying Lamar should consider going to receiver because he said he was too short was part of it. That's not true. I don't agree with Bill Polian on that part of it. But the rest of the part that he said about Lamar Jackson as analyst and what he thought of. And Bill Polian, his thing for quarterbacks is too small. Anything he wants 6'4" to 6'7" is his prototypical quarterback. So even like Darnold 6'3", he's a little short for him. I think that's what Bill Polian. That's his benchmark is 6'4". So being under 6'3" is why he was considering him short. They hadn't come out with the official measurements yet. So that was a bit on the short side, and he thought he'd just be a supreme athlete. If he wanted to contribute right away, he'd go to receiver and contribute, which I don't think is wrong anyway. And he didn't say that about Josh Allen because Josh Allen didn't have any other skills besides just being a quarterback. Like Lamar Jackson's athletic enough that he could move positions. Kind of the same thing with Tim Tebow. Could have moved positions if he wanted to.
Should have moved positions.
Exactly. So there's certain guys that are like, you know what? Probably should have Brad Smith, former Mizzou quarterback, moved to receiver because that's how he could make money in the NFL. Terrell Pryor moved to receiver after being quarterback at Ohio State.
It was really sad when Brad Smith moved. I was not a Mizzou fan, but watching Brad Smith was so fun.
Yeah, he was good. The 8 years you had Brad Smith and then Chase Daniel. That was fun. Fun time Mizzou fans. And then we had Matty Mock.
Not so fun.
That didn't go as well.
And now this year you had Drew Lock and no defense for like half the year.
Yeah, so hopefully they get some defense in the next year. But this is some interesting stuff that came out of the Combine. It's still going to come out. It's going to go all weekend. So if you're interested in seeing guys run around, the Combine.
Combine's must-watch TV.
I like the Combine.
I love it.
I'm a nerd about some of that stuff, but it's kind of interesting to see these freak athletes do some stuff. It's like, that's insane.
I really just want to watch the quarterbacks work out. That's the only thing I care about.
And Darnold's not going to throw at the Combine, which
that makes me so mad.
Which I understand because the way he throws, like I don't think he can pick up with other receivers quickly. I think what people want, he's going to throw at USC, so he's going to be able to do his own receivers and be more comfortable with them and not. And I don't think he has the arm. I think Rosen is probably the best thrower in this class.
Yes, that's why I wanted to see Darnold compared to Rosen at the Combine.
Well, you're not getting it because Darnold doesn't want that. I think Rosen's big issue is if he can stay healthy with his small frame. And some people don't like his attitude, which as quarterback, they're going to be a little arrogant.
Yes.
I mean, it's part of being quarterback.
You ever watched Tom Brady talk?
Yeah. You ever watch Aaron Rodgers talk?
Yeah, literally every really good quarterback outside
besides Russell Wilson.
Well, Peyton Manning.
Even Russell Wilson, he's like...
Okay, Russell Wilson's
He's just
ridiculous.
so full of cliches, and every interview ends with "Go Hawks." Check it out. Like every single one he makes, like every single one's like, by Russell, he's like, "Go Hawks." Cuts off. That's the last thing he always says.
I like Russell.
I didn't even catch up on it until Ryan Russillo was like, Russell Wilson drives me insane with every interview. You get absolutely nothing, and he always ends with "Go Hawks." And if you listen, it's true. So, yeah, and of course, Russell Wilson working out with the Yankees right now because he got traded in the offseason.
He's the 4th highest paid Yankees player.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I hope he makes the team and stays, and he's like, actually,
I'm tired of getting killed behind the Seahawks offensive line. I'm tired of it. Sick of it.
He's like, the defensive players all say that I suck, which doesn't make any sense because I'm a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I literally carry this team to victories.
Did he have like 33 of their 35 touchdowns this year?
It was something stupid.
It was insane. It was like 90% of their touchdowns.
He had like 88% of their offense through like 9 weeks.
Yeah, so that's not bad. So, yeah, we're going to take a break. When we come back, March Madness has already started. If you saw the Louisville versus Virginia game last night, we'll talk about that after the break.
Hold
next.
on. I have a news update.
You have a news update. Did we trade Justin Houston?
No.
Good.
It's not a Chiefs one. It's an NBA one. Cavs guard J.R. Smith. I got a
What'd he do?
Got 1 game suspension.
Yeah.
It was for throwing a bowl of soup at an assistant coach.
He took throwing water to a new level.
My only question is like, if it's chicken noodle, it's almost acceptable. But if it's like tomato, that should be like a 3 or 4 game suspension.
You don't like tomato soup?
Well, it's red, and you threw it at somebody.
That's fair. Oh. That's something I could definitely see J.R. Smith
The only
doing.
reasonable thing is if the guy got sprayed by a skunk and it was tomato soup, J.R.'s like, you stink, and threw it at him.
I don't think that would be it though. Thing
Not
is,
in Cleveland,
JR.
I don't know. It's
J.R. is very streaky. Did he hit him with the soup?
I don't know.
That's the real question here. He's not shooting well from the outside right now, so maybe this is the change he needs to move on. And you saw there at the very end of that game, Clarkson got ejected for throwing the ball at Sarek after Sarek dunked it at the very end of the game when they were pretty much running the clock out. Sarek went up and slammed it home, and then Clarkson got the ball and just threw it in his bag in disgust. And then there was the NBA fight where they just kind of pushed each other and did the hold me back.
Hold me back. No, hold me back harder so it looks like I'm actually going.
Exactly. So we'll take a break. I'll talk some basketball next here on Friday Take. And welcome back into Friday Take. I'm Devin Albertson, joined by Luke Sanders. And before I said break, I said that March Madness has already started and is in full force. That's because last night in Louisville, it was Virginia versus Louisville, and Louisville had a 4-point lead with 0.9 seconds to go, and they lost the game by 1.
Well, wait, I didn't see this.
Well, Virginia got the ball. They shot like a desperation 3, and they got fouled. Made the first 2. The third one, there was a lane violation against Virginia. So then Louisville inbounded it, and the guy ran the baseline, which is an automatic turnover. Virginia inbounded it for a 3 and banked it in at the buzzer to win the game after trailing by 4 with 0.9 to go. On Louisville's home floor.
All right.
So if you're a Louisville fan, you thought with like 3 seconds left, we're up by 4. We're going to win this game because just don't foul. And then they foul. And then everything else goes wrong. I mean, even if you're the inbound guy, you can't run the baseline, first of all. And second of all, just throw it as far as you can.
0.9 seconds.
Exactly. Throw it off the guy in front of you denying the ball. Twice. I don't care at this point.
Even once, and then you're going to get to a point where they can't really get a shot up.
Exactly. So Louisville blew that one. So Virginia kind of got lucky there, but they also hit the 3 at the buzzer with 0.9 to go. Highly contested 3-pointer, deep. So that was insane last night because I was kind of I got home from work, or I was at work, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I saw someone tweet out, what happened? I'm like, what? I just missed this. I'm sorry that I wasn't watching college basketball right now. What happened? And then they explained it to me, and I'm like, that's insane. And then I saw the replays, and I'm like, whoa. So with that being said, we're going to pick every conference winner and who's going to make the tournament with the automatic bids here. So when we get to the smaller conferences that we really don't care about, we're just going to quickly through these. So who do you got coming out of the American East?
Oh, my goodness. I just got messed up here.
Okay, well, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with the Great Danes of Albany. I think they come out to the 4th seed in that tournament. I think they're going to come out and win it.
The American? I can't even find this thing. This thing's not in alphabetical order. Oh, no.
There's Vermont. There's Stony Brook.
I'll take Vermont.
Okay, they're technically the best team in that conference. That's a good pick there.
You bet.
The American Athletic Conference, I'm taking Wichita State to win that tournament.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take Wichita State too. This is a cop-out answer. They seem a lot better than everybody else in there. So. Well,
Cincinnati's still pretty decent. Houston is solid. They can definitely surprise some teams. I think Wichita State's the most talented team in that conference. And when you get into a tournament setting like that, they'll be able to rise up and get the win there. The Atlantic 10, Rhode Island is the heavy favorites, but I'm going to go with the Bonnies. I'm going to take Bonaventure to win the tournament there and and the automatic bid, and then Rhode Island gets in as an at-large.
Yeah, I need all the people that like that to win that could get in that large bid conference. So Nebraska has a better chance. So we're going to go with Rhode Island.
Nebraska ball there. So how about the AAC? Who do you got? ACC, sorry.
ACC. Ooh, that one's tough. I actually know something about this one.
Yay!
I don't know. The ACC is really confusing because all the teams suck, but they're good. And you're like, I don't know. I'm probably going to take North Carolina because I'm a homer.
That's fair.
But Virginia's scary.
That's fair, but you be tripping. I'm taking Duke. And this one, I'm taking Duke, Grayson Allen. They're the most talented team in the ACC, in my opinion, so I think they're going to come through the tournament.
I would not argue with that.
Come through the tournament, and they're going to win that. They've kind of figured some stuff out now, I think, and they'll be able to beat a team like Virginia who's very defensive orientated and just be able to get by them. I do think Miami is a dark horse to win the ACC, though. Them and NC State are both dangerous teams there. The Atlantic Sun Conference, who you got coming out of the Atlantic Sun?
Yes.
Florida Gulf Coast.
Oh.
Dunk City.
I got Florida Gulf Coast for sure. I don't even know what's going on here, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't care about anybody else there. The Big 12.
Ooh.
Take Iowa State. That'd be a bold move.
I'm probably going to stick with Kansas just because it's Kansas. But my dark horse would be Oklahoma. Trae Young gets hot.
That's fair.
They can win a lot of games.
Which is why they're in the tournament right now, even though they have a 7-10 conference record.
Yep. That's why if Michael Porter Jr. comes back, Mizzou will be in no matter what.
I am taking West Virginia to win the tournament. So
That's valid. Press Virginia.
West Virginia, baby. The Big East.
Ooh. I'm going to take Villanova.
I'm taking Creighton.
Oh. I was going to say I have a dark horse of Creighton. I know that they're third, but I feel like those two teams at the top are
You mean the top 5
heavily
teams?
favored.
Xavier and Villanova pretty much gap there. I'm taking Creighton.
What about Butler? Don't ever look Butler.
Don't overlook
Anything
Butler.
can happen.
Exactly. The Big Sky Conference.
The first team on top that I see is Montana. We're going to go with Montana.
I'm going to go with I'll go with Weber State.
Oh,
Damian
Dollar
Lillard.
dimes.
Exactly. I'm going to go Weber State and go with Wildcats there. The Big South. I'm taking UNC Asheville. They're actually a tournament team last year. They were decent, so I'll take
I'm
them.
taking Winthrop.
All right, that's fair. Go a little bit off the grid, right? Team
Second.
that's not on top.
Yeah.
Gotta mix it up every once in a while. The Big Ten.
Ooh, I like Nebraska ball, but I don't think they got it. They got to beat Michigan today. If they beat Michigan, they're probably borderline in.
Be close. I gotta remember who I picked in my WSK for this.
I'm probably going to stick with Michigan State.
I took the Ohio State to win the Big
Have
Ten.
you watched them play?
Yeah, I watched them a couple times.
You're going to want to change your pick.
No, I'm not. I'm taking the Ohio State.
Ohio State's going to lose their game to whoever they play. Not tonight, but the next one.
Are they even still? I mean, like the Big Ten tournament is still going on right now. They beat Indiana. They play Penn State tonight.
Scratch that. They're going to lose to Penn State.
No, they're beating Penn State. They're winning the tournament. Let's go. The Big West. Which UC are you taking to win this one?
Irvine.
That's fair. I'll take UC Davis.
Ooh. Actually, I'm going to take the Cal State Fullerton Tigers.
Okay.
I know they got a good
The
baseball
Titans.
program. Oh, Titans? Yeah, close enough.
Titans, Tigers.
At this point, no one cares.
It's the Big West. The Colonial Athletic Association. I don't.
Towson.
All right, I'll take Northeastern Huskies.
We should probably stick with the favorites, but you know.
Well, I went with the 2 seed. They tied for the top of the conference, so take them. Conference USA.
I got Middle Tennessee State.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
I watched their performance against Mizzou in football, and that's what's motivating me to take them right now.
They're actually a talented basketball team, though. A couple years ago, they did knock off Michigan State
They did.
as a 15 seed.
They're
So
ranked this year.
they're ranked 24th right now. The Blue Raiders,
Woo.
24-5 on the year, 16-1 in conference play.
Oh wait, hold on. They're the Raiders. All right, I'm gonna take.
They're the Blue Raiders,
I'm gonna
though.
take Old Dominion. I can't do it.
The Blue Raiders,
can't
though,
do
it's
it.
different.
The Monarchs.
Yeah.
That's un-American. All right, I'm moving on to Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers, let's go. You can win Thundering Herds or Roadrunners. There's some pretty good mascots in that conference.
Yeah, but I just can't get myself to go with.
You want to go with the
Monarchs.
Florida Atlantic Fighting Kiffins?
Oh,
They're really bad at basketball, though. The Horizon League.
I'm gonna take.
You take the Norse of Northern Kentucky?
No. Actually, yeah, I am.
I'll take Wright State. No good reason. Ivy League.
Harvard.
Yeah, I can't go against Harvard. They're pretty smart. Metro.
It's the Ivy League. They're all pretty smart.
Yeah, but Harvard's the smartest of the smarts. Then Yale comes at you and you start ducking. The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. I don't know, MAC.
The MAC. I'm taking Ryder.
Yeah, I kind of know how to say the next school's name, so I'll take Ryder. Actually, you know what? I'll take Iona. I think they come out of the Gales. Dark horse. The Mid-American Conference, the actual MAC.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Buffalo? I'll go Toledo. The MEAC, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Give me North Carolina A&T. No, Norfolk State. Kyle Quinn.
I'm going Savannah State. They have the second highest scoring offense in Division One. The only reason I knew that is because someone tweeted at Shannon Sharp last night because he's from Savannah State, and then Shannon retweeted it.
Oh.
So Savannah State, dynamic offense.
means if they've lost games, they probably play really bad defense.
Well, they're 15-16 on the year, and they have the number 2 scoring offense in the division.
So their defense is terrible.
That's what I'm getting. They've lost. Oh, yeah, they've won 2 straight though. Let's go. They're 10-2 at home. They're 4-13 on the road. They're really not very good. Thanks for State anyways. Missouri Valley.
I'll take
What?
one of these teams I've never heard of. Illinois State.
I'll take Southern Illinois.
The Salukis.
Exactly. The Mountain West Conference.
We really should just pick the main conferences.
We're going through. We've already went.
We're in
over
too
it.
deep now. I realize that.
Mountain West.
Nevada.
I'll take Boise.
Nevada's actually good.
They're decent. I think Boise can get an upset though. I really don't.
I've watched Nevada play once. They look good.
Cool.
I'll take Wagner, my boys.
The Northeast. Okay, I'll take Wagner too, because I don't want to argue with those. Ohio Valley. Murray State. The Racers are always fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, no, I want Belmont.
Belmont.
The Bruins. Yeah.
Didn't they beat Kansas one year in the tournament?
Yep, that's why I want them in.
I love
Maybe they'll beat Kansas
I
again.
love Belmont. We love you, Belmont. Pac-12.
Oh, the Pac-12 is the Pac-12 might be like the MIAC this year. It's
They're
really
duty.
bad. I think Arizona's surrounded by too many scandals. I'll take Washington.
I'm taking Arizona because they're still the most talented team, and I think they can get through that. And if they don't win it, dark horse Arizona State.
Dark horse Cal.
The worst team in the conference. I love it. Patriot League.
Bucknell. They beat Kansas once too.
Yeah, we'll go Bucknell. Even though I do like Lehigh.
They beat Duke.
CJ
I'm taking Lehigh.
CJ McCollum, baby.
I'm taking Lehigh.
All right. SEC.
Ooh, dark horse Mizzou.
Dark horse is my favorite. I'm kidding. I think Florida's my favorite, and Mizzou is my dark horse in my afternoon show.
I'll take Auburn's my favorite. They definitely look the most complete out of every SEC team. But watch out for Kentucky because they are the most talented team.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think Porter comes back from Mizzou. They ride the coattails to a championship. I'm kidding.
Oh,
SEC championship.
still kind of
The Southern Conference.
I'll take East Tennessee State.
That's fair. I'll take UNC Greensboro. Go Spartans.
This is terrible. I've never heard of any of
The
these.
Southland Conference.
Why is this not? Why do these guys get bids?
I'm taking Stephen F. Austin. Lumberjacks, baby.
I'm taking Sam Houston State.
Go Bearcats. But they spell it weird. Never mind. They spell it with a K.
Cass with K.
Dumb. The Southwest Athletic Conference. The SWAC.
I'm taking the Prairie View A&M Panthers, obviously.
Thinking Grambling. Go Tigers. The Summit League.
Oh, the Jackrabbits, South Dakota State.
Definitely. Not taking Nebraska Omaha.
No, they're really bad.
I'm taking the Jackrabbits as well. Sun Belt.
Okay, Georgia State. I'll take Georgia State.
I'm taking Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajun.
Okay.
And the West Coast Conference.
All right, an actual legitimate one. I'm taking St. Mary's. I think they're going to beat Gonzaga.
I'm taking Zaga. United with Zag. The last conference here, the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference.
There's like 6 schools.
8. Take UMKC.
All right, I'll go with my boy Daniel Haley, and I'll say they pull one. Even though these conferences,
They've never made the NCAA tournament.
these have probably already happened, for
No.
the most part.
The Big Ten's the only one that's really started.
Really? All right, I'm taking UMKC to win the WAC.
I'm taking the Aggies in New Mexico State.
It's a much smarter pick. My boy Daniel Haley's going to carry him.
That's fair. Stanberry, Class 1 basketball. Let's go. So, who's the favorite to win the tournament this year?
No one. If I had to pick one team right
wrong.
now.
The FBI.
Well,
Anyways.
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino.
If I had to pick one team right now, I'd take Michigan State.
That's a fair bet. I'm not taking any team because I don't know. Anybody but Kansas.
They don't look great.
No, but it's Kansas, so they'll figure out a way. They'll be in Kansas City until they'll be in Wichita State to start the tournament, so that'd be fun.
I would love. There's some brackets that have had Mizzou as an 8 seed in Kansas's bracket.
In
I'm not
Wichita.
a fan of either team, but oh my gosh, that would be so
It's
fun
great
to watch.
for college basketball.
Yes.
If they can find a way to put them in the
It
same
really wouldn't be
region,
that hard.
No, they're going to. If they can, they're going to. Like if it's any like they're right now they're the 9 seed in Xavier's region. Why do you care about that? Like
Well, because Xavier's
I'm just saying, move Mizzou over.
in the Midwest, right? Right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Xavier's ahead of Kansas. If Kansas wins the Big 12 and
Yeah,
Xavier loses to
like
Villanova,
either way, either switch Mizzou and Florida State or switch Kansas and Xavier, and you'll be perfect.
Well, yeah, but financially it works a lot.
And
makes a lot more sense to put.
And I'd leave them in the West, Kansas in the West, because then the game's in Wichita and not Pittsburgh. So
That's the West.
I don't
Tell me how Wichita's in the West.
It's more West than Pittsburgh.
Tell me, yeah, it's square in the middle of the country though.
The Midwest, their regions are like their sites: Pittsburgh, San Diego, Dallas, and Detroit. In the West,
San Diego.
Is Wichita, San Diego, Nashville.
San Diego.
Yes,
Midwest.
Yes.
They're going to want to work on their geography.
Well, the East region has Boise.
Somebody needs to fire these people. You had one job.
The South also has Boise.
And
Detroit.
All you had to know is that North is up and South is down.
So, yeah, well, I'm just kind of interested to see some of these host spots. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Right now, on the bubble for ESPN's bracketology, on the last 4 buys is Arizona State, Alabama, Baylor, and St. Bonaventure. So I guess Bonnie could get in either way, but if they win the tournament, they're in automatically anyways. So, and then last 4 in Providence, Louisville, USC, first 4 out, UCLA, Syracuse, Nebraska ball, and Washington, and the next 4 out, Mississippi State, Utah, Marquette, Notre Dame.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far and what I've heard, Nebraska is probably in with a win at Michigan, or win against Michigan.
Bearing some weird stuff in tournaments.
Yeah.
Which it's March in 2018.
And I don't know if this is stupid to hold out hope, but like I'm thinking that when it comes down to it, like Nebraska's BPI and RPI is like by far the highest out of any team not automatically in the tournament according to Lenardi.
And they're 13-5 in the Big Ten.
And they're 13 yeah. And like the Big Ten's not great, but you're still 13-5 in a major conference.
Same record in the conference as Michigan.
Yeah. And they beat Michigan by 20.
So that means Nebraska's out.
Exactly. It's like, Lenardi, you're going to want to fix this. But they really haven't beaten anybody, but at the same time, they have, like, no bad losses.
That's fair. I mean,
Illinois isn't a great loss. UCF's not a great loss, but neither of those are, like, terrible losses.
UCF's actually decent.
Yeah, Illinois is not great.
They lost at St. John's earlier this year, but St. John's helps them out by beating Duke and Villanova in a span of 5 days later in the year. So
yeah.
I mean, St. John's, if they get hot, they can beat anybody in the country. So, at the same point.
They lost to Kansas by 1.
Lost at Creighton by 10. That's not a bad loss. Creighton's really tough to beat in Creighton.
Yeah.
In Omaha. So, that's really tough. Like, losing at Purdue by 12, not a bad loss.
And Purdue's probably the worst matchup in the entire country for Nebraska because we're not very tall.
Man, Haas is.
Haas is very tall.
He's a massive human being. At Penn State by 2, not a bad loss. So, at Ohio State by 5.
The only
Not
bad loss is at Illinois.
In conference play, yeah. By 6.
But it's still at a conference opponent. But if they would have won that game, they'd probably be in right now.
That's fair. Kind of like Mizzou, they had to beat Vanderbilt to keep the at-large secured.
Yeah,
they did.
I still think if Mizzou loses their first conference tournament game, they'll be out. If Michael Porter Jr. doesn't come back to play it.
That's fair. It's definitely possible.
If he plays it, they're in no matter what. They could lose by 20. They're still in.
Yeah, because it's Michael Porter Jr. It's like we can't keep leaving the top 5 draft picks out of the tournament every year.
You'd think.
Like LSU. Well, Washington, they had to leave Washington. Now, Washington was bad last year.
Yeah, Washington
They were awful. But Porter, if Porter feels good, he could play Saturday. ESPN report 17 hours ago.
I really want to see him play.
It'd be against Arkansas. Against Coach Anderson.
Yeah, and Mizzou fans all hate him so much.
He went back to his hometown, like his home school.
It's so funny.
The worst thing about Arkansas is it got Kansas in it, okay? So, yeah. I just hope they put Mizzou and Kansas in the same region.
It would be very fun to watch.
Because if Mizzou upsets Kansas, Dameron will not be able to turn his phone on for a month.
Yeah, but if Kansas beats Mizzou, he doesn't gain anything.
No, he doesn't.
That's what should have happened.
Not at all. It's like, you were the 1 seed. You're supposed to win this. I don't know what you're bragging about. Like, good for you.
He's still going to give it to you, though. And you're going to deserve it because if it was the other way around, it would be terrible.
Oh, I looked up his home phone number in Lawson.
Oh, my. That's not okay.
I'm a bad person. I don't care.
Well, if Nebraska makes the tournament, I hope they're in that same region. And then Mizzou wins. and Nebraska and Mizzou play to go to the Final Four.
That'd be. Oh, well, you know what? In March 2018,
It's possible.
who knows? March has been. I mean, every month in college basketball this year has been insane, and just March is going to be peak. And watch, it's going to be all chalk come March, and we're like,
The first all-chalk bracket of all time.
what is happening? But yeah, that's all we have for today's show. Lonzo played well this week, coming back from injury. So that's nice. I had to bring in Lonzo. LeVar didn't say anything stupid this week.
Oh, my goodness.
Did he say anything stupid? I don't
No,
think so.
but why you got to mention his name?
You know, it gets under your skin.
Oh, my goodness. I don't like you.
That's fair, but Lonzo's playing well right now.
Yeah, it was fine that you brought up Lonzo. I didn't care about that. You didn't have to say the L word.
What, LiAngelo? LaMelo?
No.
LeVar.
That's, yes.
Did you see on...
That's going to be one of the future words banned on the radio, I promise you.
LeVar Ball.
It's going to be the 8 words you can't say on radio.
And Big Baller Brad.
No, some big baller brands like that stuff that it's like cool, but it's just not worth the amount of money you have to pay for it.
Didn't you have a medium baller shirt?
I do have a medium baller brand shirt.
That's nice.
Fits me well.
So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, but, yeah, I was talking about TNT last night on their Inside the NBA. They brought on an actor to play as LeVar Ball, and it was funny. It was hilarious. They were eating it up on the show.
Was it Kevin Hart?
No, it wasn't.
Because that would be funny.
I'll show it to you after the show's over.
All right.
But yeah, that's all we have for today. We will see you next Friday here on Friday Take, and we'll see you this afternoon on Weekend Sport Kickoff from 2 to 5. Lots to talk about in the show today, so we'll see you there here on X 106.